Yeah, what up, YouTube? Here with a post-fight video for last week's pay-per-view bout between Keith Thurman and Mario Barrios. This was Keith Thurman's return to the ring. He ain't fought in damn near 3 years. His last fight was back in 2019 when he was defending his welterweight title against Manny Pacquiao, which a lot of people, including myself, was looking at it like it was Keith Thurman's stepping stone fight to beat Manny Pacquiao to, legitimize his legacy and to have that big win like Yordanis Ugas recently had against the great Manny Pacquiao. But it wasn't that back in 2019. Mind you, Keith Thurman won the title, then he got married and went on a honeymoon and was inactive for almost like a year. And his first defense was like a return fight for him as well because, like I said, he hasn't fought in almost a year. And when, from what I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like I said, it was like 3 years ago, damn near, when Pacquiao Thurman happened, and um, Thurman lost that fight. The right man won the fight. Pacquiao, I thought, won that fight as well. I think this really, I can't speak for another man, but I think this, I don't want to say humble. I want to try and use the most right, respectful word for how this might impacted Keith Thurman. Well, any first loss for a undefeated champion fighter would be hard to take. So with that being said, we've been wondering as boxing fans, how is Keith Thurman gonna bounce back from his first loss? And he didn't come back right away. He didn't have a fight immediately following his loss against Manny Pacquiao. He took years off. Not to count the pandemic into the factor of why he hasn't fought in damn near 3 years, but he hasn't fought in damn near 3 years, and this was his return to the ring. And a lot of fans been wondering, hey, is Keith Thurman really his ring name? Is he one time? Is he a one-hit wonder? Now, he took on Mario Barrios, who's coming fresh off a loss against Gervonta Davis last summer. He got knocked out. And Mario Barrios is a decent fighter, pretty good fighter. This was his debut at 147. He's a big dude. He's bigger than Keith Thurman, regardless of the fact that this was his debut at 147. But, he's been active for a long time. He's been building his name up. He's trying to, come up off his loss as well. So they're both coming off fresh L's. And this was like their shot at redemption for both Barrios and Thurman. Now, this fight was on pay-per-view for whatever reason, but that's a whole nother video for another time as far as why Fox or PBC has been putting on pay-per-view fights that ain't really pay-per-view worthy. And I say that with all due respect, but I think most boxing fans will agree. The New Year's fight with Luis Ortiz, Charles Martin, in my opinion, regardless of how stacked the card might have been, it is not a pay-per-view worthy fight or event, period. And I felt the same about this event with Keith Thurman and Mario Barrios. It had a solid card, but I don't think it's pay-per-view worthy. But like I said, that's a whole nother video. And I don't want to go off on that. Let's get to the post-fight thoughts for the Keith Thurman Mario Barrios actual fight. All right, now y'all already know Keith Thurman won the fight via unanimous decision. He tagged up Mario Barrios pretty bad. He outworked him. He used his movement, his footwork, his ring generalship, his accuracy, his using of the angles. He just fought a better fight than Mario Barrios. It looked like he ain't lose his touch. He bounced. If you're looking for a bounce back performance, this was that by Keith Thurman. He showed good signs of stamina, especially for a guy in his 30s who ain't been active for 2.5 years like himself. This was a good performance put on by Keith Thurman. Um, he outworked the bigger man. He landed the more better punches than Mario Barrios. It looked like he got the more power in his hands than the bigger man. And yeah, um, Mario Barrios, however, he had his moments in the late rounds when he started to loosen up, and that desperation started to call for Mario Barrios in the championship rounds. As far as fighters go, they're calling and telling them, "Hey, listen, the fight's coming to an end. Everybody knows you behind on the scorecard. Now you got to put on," and that's what Mario Barrios did during the championship rounds. I felt like that was when he had his best moments, and Keith Thurman started showing signs of fatigue, and Keith Thurman didn't have the same heat behind his punches during these later rounds. But all throughout the fight, Keith Thurman outworked him. Anytime Mario Barrios would throw a punch or land a punch, even Keith Thurman would answer back with better punches. Yeah, he was just faster, just all around a better fighter. For this fight, at least, was Keith Thurman. I had the fight score personally 117 and 111 in favor of Thurman. Mario Barrios, he being the taller fighter, bigger fighter, that didn't play in the factor in this fight. As styles make fights, the fight wasn't fought at the range he wanted to fight at. He had a hard time cutting off the ring against Thurman. He just couldn't catch Keith Thurman while Keith Thurman was, moving around the ring. And anytime Keith Thurman would step on the pedal to add that pressure against Barrios, he would get tagged up. And that's what I meant by, Keith Thurman's accuracy and his landing of better punches really got him that win against Mario Barrios. It was basically one-sided in favor of Keith Thurman. And as far as the future holds for both fighters, Mario Barrios, I don't know if he want to step back down to 140 pounds. It's not the best weight class in the sport right now. And I don't think PBC has the best junior welterweights. As far as the super lightweight division goes, I think Top Rank got that. And I know PBC and Top Rank don't really work with each other like that. They made the super fight with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, but other than that, they don't really work with each other. You get what I'm saying? Top Rank do their own thing with ESPN, and PBC do their own thing with Showtime and Fox. With that being said, does Barrios want to stay at 147? He took consecutive back-to-back losses. 147, I would say, is a more of a challenging division. So I don't know if you want to stay there. And him being under the PBC banner, PBC has all the fighters at 147. But after his fight against Keith Thurman, he ain't get knocked out like he did against Gervonta Davis. From featherweight all the way to welterweight, not a lot of fighters carry the power that Tank carries. So with that being said, this was more of a outclassing than a boot knockout that happened in Barrios' last fight before the Thurman fight. So does Barrios want to stick around at 147? I don't know. He could be one of them, gatekeepers at 147 for, guys like Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. Even though Virgil Ortiz, I know, doesn't fight with PBC, but I'm saying as far as, those up-and-coming welterweight prospects. And as far as Keith Thurman goes, yeah, he won his return fight. He hasn't fought in 2.5 years. He put on a good performance for somebody who's been inactive for that long. But does this necessarily mean, he gets catapulted and he leaps in front of, guys like Boots Davis to challenge the welterweight champions? Now, this doesn't mean he's in line to challenge Errol Spence or Yordenis Ugas, because it was recently announced that Spence and Ugas is going to fight each other in the spring in a unification title fight. And that's going to be a big fight itself. So that fight isn't happening for Keith Thurman. But does this mean he's next in line to challenge Terrence Crawford for the WBO welterweight title, who Terrence Crawford is coming off his big win. I say the biggest win of his career. He's the first ever man to stop Sean Porter, and that happened in Terrence Crawford's last fight. Questionable stoppage. I don't think it should have been stopped. It was bullshit in my opinion, and I think most boxing fans will agree to that. That's a common opponent, common win that both Thurman and Crawford has, and I don't think this fight alone puts Keith Thurman in position to challenge Terrence Crawford for a title. But other than Keith Thurman, who does Terrence Crawford have to fight? I mean, this is the safest bout for I think Terrence Crawford to take. I don't think he want that smoke with Boots Ennis, and that's just me speaking. And I don't personally think Ennis is a marketable enough name for Terrence Crawford to fight yet. He's still building his buzz. He's still climbing through the ranks, even though Terrence Crawford has taken on lesser quality opponents than Boots Ennis. But I don't think. I think Ennis wants that fight, but I don't think Terrence Crawford wants that fight. Does Terrence Crawford want to fight Danny Garcia? He hasn't won a major fight. In my recent memories at least, and I heard he moving up to super welterweight, and but I think the best fight for Terrence Crawford that is available is a Keith Thurman. And like I said, I think one fight against Mario Barrios, I don't think I think this was more of a return fight than, lining Keith Thurman up for a title fight against any of the champions at welterweight. And that's just my opinion personally. Y'all can let me know what y'all think. But Keith Thurman has fought a lot of top welterweights on his record. Y'all could go check his record right now, and he's fought top quality welterweights all throughout his career. He's got good names under his resume. With that being said, like I said, that would be the most marketable opponent for Terrence Crawford to fight next. Or it could be Keith Thurman, who could be one of those gatekeepers that prospects like Jerron Ennis could fight next to get their rankings up. That might also be a good fight, Keith Thurman and Jerron Boots Ennis, if Terrence Crawford finds someone else that he finds more of a better quality opponent than Keith Thurman to defend his title against. But, that does it for the post-fight video. That's my thoughts on Keith Thurman and Mario Barrios. Y'all let me know what y'all want to see with both fighters and the welterweight division in the future in the comments. If y'all got videos talking about the same thing I'm talking about, y'all I'd like to check it out. If y'all want me to check it out too, y'all let me know. If y'all want to share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, that would be appreciated as well. If y'all want to do that, go ahead and do that. Anyways, y'all stay safe, stay healthy, and peace.